John McCarthy, the city administrator for Dundas, I talked to him yesterday, is going to stop by hopefully during this half hour. But until he gets here, we're going to talk with Pete Mergens. And I know, Pete, you're pretty excited about your Cannon River Valley Estates 55-plus community.
We are. We're really excited. The dirt work approval and dirt work for that property happened last fall, right before the kind of early freeze-up that we had. And so we've got a little bit of dirt work and some final grading to happen out there, but we're off and running. We have 2 of the lots sold and construction to be starting on one of them sooner rather than later here, probably in the next month or so.
And you don't even have the model home up yet.
Nope. The model hopefully will come shortly after the first pre-sold that we have, which will be starting. But we also have a couple lots on hold. So.
And eventually I could buy that model home?
You could. You absolutely could. Yep, the model will be a beautiful slab-on grade. And some of the features of this open floor plan that we have, remember, these are all single-family homes on quarter-acre plus size lots, but it's still in an association. So all your snow and lawn care, it's all done for you. And it's 55 and older. So
it's like, I was in Florida here. Last time I was here, I was on my way to the airport. And I did check while I was down there because I thought this would be the perfect place to spend my winters when I really get old. It sounds like kind of a retirement community like they have down there.
Well, Northfield has been recognized many times over as one of the top retirement communities here in Minnesota. So it's a good honor, and this is a great product because we don't have a lot of inventory right now for that type of product, and so this is going to fit in just perfectly.
Yeah. So how did this all come about, Pete? I mean, because of the tight market, you thought, we need to do something like this, or how did this all come about?
More or less. It had a direct impact. We're the company representing the owner and developer, and so when they asked us what type of products we're in need of, this was a big one for us, without a doubt. This being located in Dundas and Northfield, same thing. They both need that 55 and older type product or that retirement type product, among other things. But it's one that we're sorely lacking right now.
What I love about your development is it's out in the wilderness, so to speak.
Yep, the Cannon River Valley. It's absolutely beautiful right there, and hence the name Cannon River Valley Estates. Half the lots are overlooking the river valley, and we're very blessed. Both Northfield and Dundas have the opportunity to take advantage of the river. It's a beautiful river system that we have between our two communities, and it's really the focal point.
Yep, I can imagine sitting on my back deck on one of those homes and seeing some bald eagles.
We have plenty of those around, that's for sure. In fact, I actually had one swoop down on a road in front of me just yesterday and pick up a squirrel or something, but it was an amazing sight to see. We have a lot of bald eagles around here.
Yeah, and you can see it right on the back deck with your hot cup of coffee or something.
Absolutely.
Because is the back of a lot facing the Cannon River?
Yep, half of those lots they're actually kind of on a bluff there, and they actually face the Cannon River Valley, so it's a nice sight.
Yeah. All right, I think we have the Dundas City Administrator with us here today, too, John McCarthy, right?
We do indeed.
And John knows Pete, of course.
Right? Of course. Good morning.
You've been working a little bit with Pete?
Yes, we have.
On this subdivision? Yeah, I know you guys are pretty excited to have something like this come to Dundas, too.
I think it's a great asset to the area. When I came in, I heard Pete talking about bald eagles, and actually there's you, Gordy, I heard the two of you talking about bald eagles. Actually, there's an active eagle nest right down in the river, in front of the development.
John, how far are you from 55?
I'm at 55 right now.
Well, you could get a home in this subdivision.
Sounds kind of nice.
Overlooking the wilderness. No metro traffic. Think about it, John.
Tell us more about it.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, tell us more about it.
Yeah, we'll do that. We've got Jack McCarthy. Is it John McCarthy? I'm sorry. Had one of those brain lapses. Pete Mergens is with us from Professional Pride Realty, and Jack is with us from the city of Dundas. He's the city administrator, and we were just talking about the benefits of having this subdivision in Dundas. Off the air, I was asking you, and I'll ask you right now on the air, Mr. McCarthy, and again, thanks for joining us here at Professional Pride Realty today.
Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of listeners thinking about a home would be curious about the taxes and how they compare to other communities.
Basically, most of we're very similar to all of the surrounding communities as far as taxes. It isn't. There's no significant difference. You can find in any community you can find aberrations as far as being higher, lower, or whatever. But from a long-term basis, you're going to find, I think, a real good value in a lot of the areas down here. But we do try to offer good value to folks in Dundas, but and we have I think we have a very very progressive council. We've had a lot of good luck and good fortune recently with some major expansions down there. In commercial, we have a real nice commercial tax base, which helps the residential folks in their taxes and provides a lot of amenities to the community.
Yeah, there aren't many communities the size of Dundas, and we were chatting off there. You think it's about 1,600 people now?
Right, that'd be my guess, and give or take a few. But the state demographer had us just under 1,500 a couple of years ago, and we put in about 40 homes since then. So I think that's conservative. The demographer usually uses about 2.5 to 2.6 people per home. So 40 homes, you're going to look at about 100 people, maybe a little bit more.
And this will add, 19 more homes? You have 19 lots in this subdivision?
Right. Yep. And we're this year we've already issued 4 building permits. One of the homes is probably almost ready to be occupied, and these are folks that started building this year. Last year we had about 21 homes built, so it's I think we're again very lucky, but very lucky to have this development. It's it's very unique development, especially if you go back to the developer. The property owner is 94 and started out and decided that wanted to do something. And usually you don't have folks 94 years old starting out making this investment to do to build homes.
Wow, futuristic 94-year-old. That's pretty awesome.
Well,
I love that. So, Pete, if we could get a little more specifics on these lots. You mentioned half the lots will be facing the Cannon Valley.
Yep, half of them are walkout or lookout type properties, so they have an elevation on the back of the property that overlooks the Cannon River Valley, and the other half are flat lots, and those will be all slab-on-grade properties, so they'll be homes without a basement.
And if I'm looking at this right, that's just off County Road 8?
That's correct, yep.
The other side?
Yep, that is correct.
Of the subdivision. But you'll still have some nice lots there, obviously.
Beautiful lots. In fact, all these lots are at least a quarter of an acre in size, and some are bigger than that. So they're very nice sized lots. There will be some very nice trees and boulevard trees along County Road 8 and a very nice sidewalk as well, giving people access to downtown. And it's again, just very well laid out. The city of Dundas was very good to us in the process and getting this put together, and I think it's going to look really nice.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was that close to town.
It is, yep, just a couple blocks away. So
you got wilderness
quite nice
on one side of you, and you got the town on the other side of you. And you won't have to drive into town, as you said.
Right. Yeah, it's very convenient, and it's beautiful. It really is. If you go drive by and see it right now, the beauty probably isn't immediately there because we still have a little bit of finishing touches with Mother Nature hitting us a little bit early last year and quickly. It kind of froze up very fast, so
then
it
we had all
prevented
that,
us from
Had that rainy August too.
Yep. With that wet ground, it made it difficult for us to get compaction and get things passed in time. So weren't able to get curb and gutter in and some of the utilities, and we'll be working on that here very quickly as the frost will be leaving the ground here shortly.
You have, 3 different floor plans on this?
You know what? Yeah, there's 3 options in terms of a walkout, a lookout, or a slab on grade. But the homes will all be similar in architecture, but we kind of have a a la carte menu, if you will, on being able to
square footage,
change some square footages around on the interior. So they'll be very, very nicely done. Growthy Homes and Renovations is the contractor that will be building all these homes, and they have an excellent reputation for quality. And so these will be very, very nice properties.
Will pets be allowed?
Yep, pets are allowed. There are some covenants that might determine the size or a type of a pet, but for the most part, it's cats or dogs of any size.
Because I'm thinking you got a beautiful park, basically, right behind you.
Yep, there's also an outlot that is kind of between the houses and the river that was just part of the land, and what we wanted or envisioned it to be is a place that they could have a walking trail that's open just to them because it's association land, if you will.
Sure.
They might want to put a community garden or something together, and they could do that. They have the ability to do that there.
So, Mr. McCarthy, do you envision a city park going anywhere down around here?
Well, actually, most of the properties to the riverside are state-owned properties. The DNR acquired those properties several years ago for both an aquatic management area and a portion to continue the state trail. There is, as part of the state trail system, the Milltown Trails, our state trail will be built down along that area on an old railroad grade. And so the area will never be developed in front. The view will be natural, but all that will happen down there is that trail being installed, and so there'll be nothing toward the riverside from that as far as development.
So you're guaranteed, you buy one of these lots, you'll have that view the rest of your life.
Right. I was down in Chicago recently, and I was just we were driving down the Gold Shore, or down north. The Gold Shore area north of Chicago, and I was commenting to my daughter who lives down there, is these folks that have these multi-million-dollar high-rises, 30 stories high, all of a sudden they're having another one built right in front of them in 2 cases. This view will not be.
Yeah, all you see is a building. How would you like to look out at your building and see a building?
Especially if you paid that much money to watch Lake Michigan.
Oh, gosh, yeah, no kidding. So I know I might be asking the wrong guy this, but does a development like this get more difficult because of its proximity to the river with the DNR and everything?
No, it's far enough away from the river that the Cannon River in this area is called the Wild and Scenic River, although there is an urban rule for the areas in the city. But the development is far, far away from that consideration.
Now, you mentioned earlier, and I thought it was interesting, you chose the word unique to describe this development. What makes this development more unique than others you've worked with?
I think the uniqueness comes from the siting of it, the opportunity. Dundas is still small enough that this is a great example of what I think happens in Dundas. Is almost the whole residential area in Dundas. You're no more than 3 blocks from a river, a cornfield, or woods, and so basically you've got a great urban amenity in where you can live, but yet it comes immediately. It's not a suburban development where there's row after row after row of the same homes that you drive through. These nice little developments where we're still a small town, but we've got all the amenities of a larger town.
Yeah, and you're in the Northfield School District. Very good reputation there.
Yep, and Northfield has a lot of amenities which we are able to share with Northfield. I think that Rice County as a whole has been very progressive. So we're I think we're ideally located to we're 4 miles away from I-35 in Dundas. So on a all-weather 10-ton road. So I think we're in great shape as far as communication, technology. We've got three high-speed internet providers right in that area. So I think you can hook up your house to a choice of 3 high-speed internet providers.
We're going to hear from Professional Pride Realty, and when we return, we'll talk more about what's happening in the city of Dundas when AM Minnesota continues.
Professional Pride Realty of Northfield would love to serve you. The team at Professional Pride Realty understands buying or selling a home is a major life event. It specializes in, but is not limited to, residential real estate. Locally owned, Professional Pride serves the community in and around Northfield. Just like the name says, they take professional pride in everything they do. The website, professionalpriderealty.com, includes not only pictures of some awesome properties, but other helpful tools to make a home buying or selling experience an enjoyable one. Professional Pride Realty, Northfield.
Pete Mergens is with us. We're in his conference room at Professional Pride Realty, conveniently located just off Highway 3. Pete, boy, it got to feel pretty cool to have this almost completed. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done, don't get me wrong. But
Yep, there's still a few hurdles to cross, but very exciting. This has been a long process. People don't realize, and even to that point, I didn't realize having the opportunity to have my company market this development. I think we've been working on it for about 1.5 years just to get it to this point. So it takes some time. It takes a lot of time and effort to do it and do it right. And as I indicated before, the city of Dundas and their staff was very good to us. They, I'm sure, encounter all sorts of entities that want to build things within their community. And what was unique about this is, John mentioned, is the owner being a 94-year-old Dundas native and not a developer by trade, and so it was a really unique experience for all of us, I think, to bring this to fruition. So we're pretty excited. It really is a feather in the cap for Dundas. I think you spoke a little bit about what makes this unique. What's really unique about it is most of our folks that are getting near retirement, they've raised their kids. Their kids are off to college or off to their married life or whatever it might be. And, people aren't quite ready to go into the products that are out there for them, meaning they're not really ready to be in a row of townhomes, or they're not willing to give up maybe their boat or their snowmobile or some things like that. And some of the products that are out there for these folks just don't allow for it. And so these are still single-family homes, but with the amenities of an association that takes care of your outside maintenance and your snow removal, and it gives them the ability to still have some space to live in, but maybe take advantage of life a little bit more.
Yeah, that's probably the number one thing as you get older. I'm speaking from personal experience, that you kind of want to, the whole snow shoveling thing gets old.
Well, it certainly does after a year like this. And I hate to break it to you, but it looks like Saturday and Sunday we might be shoveling again. So
Not me. I'll just let the sun take care of it. It won't last more than a few days after.
No, it won't. But it is amazing Mother Nature's grip. As I told you before, we intended this to be much further along, but it literally in a week's time changed on us last fall and just sealed everything up and kind of sealed our fate about how we could move forward.
So now you're waiting to get this model home up because you got to get frost and
that
sort of thing.
We got to get curb and gutter in and the utilities in, and we can be off and running, and that'll happen here real quick. So things are progressing in the right direction.
So this is a 55 and older community. You mentioned most 55-year-olds don't have kids at home, but there are some that do.
Sure. Kids
not allowed in this?
Kids are certainly welcome. It's just not... at least one of the owners needs to be 55 years or older.
Okay.
And really the point of that is most people, empty nesters, if you will. They're not looking to be next door to a swing set and some kids on bikes out in the street. This is the street itself is owned by the association, so it has to be maintained by the association. And so that's really the only benefit of it. Kids are more than welcome to be there. It's not necessarily a family neighborhood that you'd be moving into.
That'll be a paved street?
That'll be a paved street, yes, indeed.
Called River Valley Lane.
Yep, that is correct.
So if I buy one of these lots, and I'm eyeing this corner lot here, Pete.
Well, actually, that lot 13 that you're eyeing there, we have a hold on it as of 2 days ago. So.
Somebody thought the same thing I did. Because I asked one of your cohorts here what he thought the cherry lot was on here. He did not pick that one, but I do.
I would say any of those across the back are quite nice. But to be honest, the people on the flat lots, I think they have the nicer lots because they get to utilize their whole lot. The downslope of while you have the beautiful view behind you, you don't have much of a usable yard. So there's a trade-off for that view.
Yeah. The reason I like 13 is you get a gorgeous view off to the side as well as behind.
Yep. You recognize that. That's a good lot.
That's the first thing I looked at.
We better get you signed up on one of these lots.
I didn't look at the number 13, though, on the lot.
Well, it hopefully it will be a lucky lot.
Yeah. Maybe we can sign the deal this Friday, the 13th.
We could. That's possible.
No, you already got a hold on that one, don't
we
you?
do have a hold on that
14 looks pretty good, too, though.
Yep, that's another nice lot.
So, folks, you might want to check this out. People can get a copy of this here at your office? Or?
Yep, they can swing into our office at 203 3rd Street West here in Northfield, or they can call us at 507-663-1100.
Yeah. We have a couple more minutes left in the show. I wanted to ask Mr. McCarthy a couple more questions about Dundas. You guys obviously are growing in population. Do you see more commercial properties coming into Dundas?
Well, right now we have some additional commercial property available on Highway 3 to get developed. So I know the owners of that property are very anxious to bring things in. Recently we did have a closed Kmart and was recently acquired by an investor who has put in a 10-screen movie theater, and a liquor store, and some other retail, and has some retail space available, but intends basically the city has worked with him, and basically the city has approved the concept of how he would expand that. So definitely has some plans to bring in some more retail in that area.
What do you think Dundas needs retail wise?
Basically, the area down here, you need, I think restaurants have been very good. Service type, the population here is a great population in the Northfield Dundas area. We need some more, as anything, Northfield has got a very unique downtown, which you're not going to have little gift stores, these specialty stores that Northfield has got. Does a great job with their downtown. It always ends up being one of the most fantastic or the best downtowns in the country, definitely in the state. So,
and a lot of it, I think, this is my own opinion, has to do with the river here.
A lot of it has to do with the river. A lot of it has to do with the way Northfield has treated their downtown. But there are people that don't always shop in those downtown specialty shops, so there's a lot of opportunities available that will not compete directly with other areas. We have a great Menards in Dundas. You're not going to see that in the downtown area any place. So, well, I shouldn't say any place. I guess I've been in 2-story Menards recently. So,
yeah, but it's rare.
It's rare,
especially a community the size of Dundas. Well, thanks. I appreciate your joining us, John, this morning on AM Minnesota, and thanks for working with Pete on this new development, Cannon River Valley Estates, the 55 and older community. In the final minute or so, Pete, you got any final thoughts you want to share with the folks?
I just hope everyone enjoys the beautiful sunshine that we have brewing out there this morning, and hopefully they don't get too disappointed with the incoming weather this weekend. But things are good. We're off to a good start this spring.
How'd the home show go?
Home show was excellent. And lots of folks show up. It was a little chilly, but hard to get people to think about spring when they got their winter jacket on, but it was good.
And, of course, you had that coloring contest, right?
Yep, we did. We had the Heroes for Education contest, and we do have a winner that'll be coming out this week, so maybe in a future show we can
have the winner on
with us.
That would be awesome, wouldn't it?
I think I can arrange for that.
That would be very cool. Don't leave, John. I want to get a picture of you for our website promoting today's show, so please don't leave your seat. And thanks again, Pete, for having us.
My pleasure. Thank you, Gordy.
Out here at Professional Pride Realty, located just off Highway 3. We're right kitty corner from the Quarterback Club, where they have those great ribs. That's our AM Minnesota show from Professional Pride Realty in Northfield.